It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege of interviewing the Indoor Football Director of Media, Kayley Shade. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in working in professional sports?
It actually took me a long time to decide what I wanted to do. I was in college and took a social media class for my marketing degree, and I still had no idea what I wanted to do. And they had a guy come in and speak to our class about the Sioux Falls Skyforce, which is an affiliate of the Miami Heat. And he talked about social media and sports. And at that point, I was like, okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to do. It took probably 4 years for me to decide that sports was the route I wanted to go.
What was that like going to college and studying marketing?
It was good. It was challenging. I was a double major. I did marketing and marketing design. So a lot of the classes overlapped, but the design classes were the separate degree part of that.
What was that experience like going to Sioux Falls Storm and getting to be the digital media intern?
Yeah, so it was awesome. I had a great experience. I was the intern for like 11 months, I think. And I happened to I had to take an internship for my degree. So I came across on Facebook that the Storm was looking for an intern. And I read the post and I thought, I could do it. But at the same time, I kind of was talking myself out of it because of my physical disability and figured, how could I really work for a football team when I have a physical disability? And I finally just decided that if I didn't apply for this internship, I was never going to apply for any job in the future and let my disability get in the way of that. And so I applied and went in for my interview and got the job on the spot.
What were some of the things that you learned as a digital assistant as an intern for the Sioux Falls Storm?
Good question. I learned a lot. It taught me a lot about different marketing aspects, and really, I was a fan of the Storm before I became an intern, but I didn't know how much went into like the prep work for the games and seeing the setup for the games and just even the preseason setup for the season. So I learned all the game day setup, the sales side of things. I learned website, how to manage a website, and graphics is kind of when I started. I started really doing graphics for the Storm a couple of years after my internship, after I got hired full time.
Of course, how did you take your fandom of the Storm to help you to then make that jump to become the director of social media for the Storm?
Yeah, I think it helped tremendously. I knew the history of the Storm. I'd been a fan for many years. And so I knew the history, which helped me promote them more on social media.
What were some of your roles as that director of media marketing for the Sioux Falls Storm?
I wrote press releases and did live updates during all the football games. I did social media, during the week, whatever posts we needed, updated our website. What else did I do? I kind of did it all. Anything they asked, I sent out like our email marketing emails. I sent those out, which was probably my most challenging part of the job.
How was that experience like doing those live updates while the game is happening?
Very challenging. It's very fast paced. Indoor football is nonstop action. So, I just get out a tweet and then they're already scored or something else had happened. So I had to be very fast and paying attention. I had to have helpers, in case I was typing, tell me who scored. And you got to learn to multitask.
As a director of media for the Storm, what was it like getting to work with the media and bringing the Storm content?
Working with the media was good. They told me I did a great job, so I hope that was true. I sent game recaps, game previews, and any player signings directly to them. If they wanted interview requests, not necessarily during my intern year, but later on when I became the director of media relations, they would request interviews with the coach or the owner, player, whoever they needed.
How was that experience like for you getting to run the social media for a professional sports team like the Sioux Falls Storm?
It was really eye-opening. I follow sports all the time on social media. I'm a football fan myself. I follow all sports teams, and I never knew the thought that went in behind what they were doing. I kind of just thought it was, I'll type it and push it out, but there's a lot more that goes into it. So very eye-opening, and I've met some really awesome people through my time with the Storm and with my time in the Indoor Football League.
While with the Sioux Falls Storm, what was that like balancing running their social media and life outside of indoor football?
It was good. I was a full-time student at the time as well. It was my first 2 years with the Storm. So I had to really balance out how to get my schoolwork done and go to class and then do full-time intern stuff and work after that. So it was hard to find the balance, but usually I did my schoolwork right away in the day as early as I could so I could focus on Storm stuff the rest of the day.
What were some of your favorite memories and moments as the social media manager for the Sioux Falls Storm?
There's a lot of them. I had a lot of good times with the Sioux Falls Storm. My favorite memory, I would say, when we hosted a fundraiser for Cure SMA was probably my highlight. We did it for 2 years in a row and raised about $10,000 for this nonprofit, and the support that the organization gave me and the fans and players, like everyone rallied really well behind that specific fundraiser.
Of course, when it came to when the Sioux Falls Storms made it to the championship, what was that moment like for you as a director of media covering the championship?
It was really fun. My first championship that I was a part of with the Storm was in 2015. That was my intern year. And that one was probably extra special just because after the game, I had went up to the owner and had, told him thanks for the opportunity. I had a great time this year. And he said, we want you back next year. And that's, how I got to come back full time as an employee for the Storm. So that one was really special. And the next year was 2016. So that was my first championship with them as an actual employee, which was extra special as well.
Of course, as an employee for the Storm, what was that like getting to cover that championship win?
Emotional. It was a lot of fun. It was so long ago, I barely remember all of my emotions. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. There's nothing like your first championship.
Of course, after your time with the Sioux Falls Storm, what was it like transitioning into the league office and coming to work for the Indoor Football League?
It was a lot of fun, a very different role being on the IFL side of things compared to just a team. I had to learn how to manage at that time 14 different teams and making sure that, their news was getting out on our social channels and making sure, website and everything. And communication is very big in the Indoor Football League.
What was that feeling like for you getting promoted to become the director of media for the whole league?
It was insane is probably the best word I can think of. I never thought back when I applied for an internship for the Storm that I would be at the highest level in the indoor football league, and it's been a very great, humbling experience.
Of course, while with the Indoor Football League as the director of media, what are some of your roles and responsibilities?
So I do a lot of the same. I send out press release to the media, and we didn't really have a media list until I came on and we started creating one. So we have a list of about 100 media contacts now. So I send out all of our press releases to them. I do the same post on social medias. I'm checking YouTube to make sure all of our games are working and communicating with other staff if, hey, this game's not working, or things like that. And still doing graphic design. I do website updates as well.
What does a day in the life look like as the director of media for the indoor football?
Right now, it's fairly slow. We're building up to the season, so I'm getting busier and busier. We just had schedule release, and that was very busy. That was a couple of days worth of over 12-hour days of doing graphics and posting. And otherwise, during the season, a day in the life, I really get going about an hour before our first game goes, and I'm checking to make sure I have all the stats links correct and my scorecards for halftime and final with all the logos correct, and getting all my folders open so I can download pictures. And it's kind of just a lot of getting organized until it's game time, and then it's following along with sometimes 7 games at once, which can be very tasking.
As a director of media, what is it like getting to oversee different teams in the indoor football, like the Frisco Fighters, the Bay Area Panthers, and Sioux Falls Storm?
I don't necessarily oversee all of them. They all have their own social media, but I kind of check in if they need anything, or hey, we want to promote this as a league. Please put this out on your channels. But their front offices are very amazing. They're very helpful, and that's probably the best part of the IFL is everyone is there to help you out, whether it's team to team or the team's helping the IFL front office. It's just very helpful in every way.
What have been some of your favorite memories and moments getting to work with the IFL as that director of media?
That's a tough question. I'm going into my 3rd season with them. I think the first season was probably the most fun. I was balancing Storm work at the same time as doing IFL work, and just getting to know everybody in the league has been pretty incredible. I've made a lot of really great connections through working closer with the team's front office.
What is it like, obviously, getting prepared for that press release for different teams in the IFL?
So they will send me all of their press releases through email. As far as the IFL, I don't write our press releases. It's kind of Eric is our marketing director. He writes them, and then I proof them, and we kind of send them back and forth with changes about 12 times, sometimes more. But it's been good. It's all a teamwork type situation.
How is it like getting to travel around to those different teams in your IFL league and getting to see them live?
Yeah, so I pretty much work strictly from home with our games being on YouTube. I haven't really gone to many games except in I've been to Sioux Falls and Iowa, have been the 2 I've been to.
What have been some of your notable memories and moments that you've had so far?
That's another tough question. You're really good at those tough questions. My most notable is probably when we announced that I would say my top two has been when we announced the championship was going to be in Vegas, and then announcing that we were going to air the next couple years on CBS Sports for the championship. People's reactions and just the general hype behind both were very exciting.
As a director of media, what is it like getting to work with the media to coordinate interviews with players and GMs?
I don't do a ton of that with the league. That would go through their social media people or media people for them. On the league level, it kind of just depends who's wanting to interview the commissioner or whoever. And sometimes I get the email and sometimes it's other people, but it's all just coordinating with Todd Tryon, who he's usually the one that wants to be interviewed.
What are some of the things that you've learned so far with working with the League of Indoor Football?
I'm still learning things every day. I think I've learned a lot, even more on the sales side of things, and learning how expansion teams work is very interesting. Social media, I'm still learning, that changes all the time. So it's constantly changing in the world of football or sports in general. So keeping up on the latest trends has been probably the most important thing.
What are some of your future plans as the director of media with indoor football?
Hopefully keep growing our social channels and getting the indoor football league name out there more and more. We're going to have internship openings for this year coming up fairly soon. So start looking for interns, which will be exciting. So it's always good to help, college students to learn how they can get better in the sports industry and further their career. That's something I enjoy quite much. And yeah, I think just getting our name out there more and more.
What advice would you give those people out there that are looking to work in professional sports for a professional football league?
I would tell them, keep pursuing your dreams. If you have a dream, keep pursuing it. I dreamed of working in sports, and here I am. And I would say another important aspect is to be multifaceted in any way that you can. Like if you're a graphics person like I am, to marketing, social media, video, kind of just try to do it all.
How has that experience been like, obviously being a freelance graphic designer and getting to create some of the graphics for the indoor football?
I'm constantly learning. I'm watching YouTube videos. If there's a technique I don't know how to do, YouTube's your best friend. And I think I've grown a lot in the last 2 or 3 years with the way my product looks. And I'm very proud of the work that we put out.
What advice would you give those people out there that are looking to get onto a social media team for a professional sports team?
I would tell them apply. Don't hold yourself back like I almost did. And have fun with it. My internship year and even now, I'm still having a lot of fun doing what I do. I think if you know social media and want to learn more about the marketing side and kind of what it takes to have a great looking media product, go for your shot at your internship.
What advice would you give those people out there that are looking to work for a professional sports company league like the IFL or NFL?
Work your way up, get better and better at every aspect of your job. I started out as an intern and then went into social media and just kept progressing from there. And definitely market yourself. No one can be a better advocate for you than you.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Indoor Football League?
You can find me personally at Kayley Shade Design, in the Indoor Football League. Facebook, just search Indoor Football League. Twitter, we're Indoor FL. and Instagram for our indoor football league. So yeah, definitely give us a follow. We'll have some really cool stuff coming up this year.
Thank you again, Kayley Scheid, for your interview and best luck in your future with the Indoor Football League as the Director of Media.
Yeah, thank you.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Kayley Scheid, for your interview and best luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.